Okay, class, this is the second video for week 6, and we're going to integrate MDT into SCCM. First thing I want to do is go back to my lab and inject the Windows Server image into our SCCM machine. So it's in the CD. Okay, so that disk is in there now. I'm going to go back to the SCCM machine, go to that disk, copy everything. I'm going to create a Windows Server 2016 folder under source files. And paste it in there. Okay, so now that software is copied to our server, I'm going to go in to SCCM, the management console, and add that operating system. Add an operating system. And I'm going to navigate to that source folder and find the install.wim file. Here's the sources folder, and I'm going to grab install.wim. I'm just going to call it Windows Server 2016. And then I'm going to send this to the distribution point. Okay, now that the OS is up on SCCM, it's going to take a few minutes before it gets to the DP. I'm going to go back to task sequence. The last task sequence we created, I'm going to just edit it to show you something. when we try to click add, we're missing some things right here. And we're going to integrate the MDT and it's going to add some items to this list. So I'm going to press cancel. I'm going to go to our start menu. I'm going to go to Microsoft Deployment Toolkit menu. And there's a link right here saying Config Manager Integration. Click that link. It's going to read all the information about our setup. Just click next. We installed MDT as one of the prereqs very early on in the class. Click finish. So now I'm going to look at that task sequence. When I click add, it's not here yet. I might have to create a new one because this was created before MDT was was integrated. So we're going to create a new task sequence. We're going to deploy our server image. Create a task sequence. Install an existing image package. We're going to use our Windows Server image package. I'm going to call this Windows Server 2016 with DFS. It could be any service that you want to install. So we're just going to create a task sequence that installs Windows Server with DFS already pre-installed. I'm going to choose our boot image. Click Next. I'm going to choose Windows Server. And we're going to choose the second image in that image file, which is our graphic user interface. We can join it to the domain if we want. We're going to install the config manager package. We don't really need to migrate any user state. So I'm going to unselect those items. Again, we haven't gotten to the WSUS lab, so I'm not going to do updates. And I'm not going to install any applications. I'm going to go close. Now, if I look at my task sequence, okay, I'm going to pause it because I'm going to have to close this window out and reopen it because I don't see our tasks. I don't see the MDT stuff. So I'm just going to reopen my console. So let me pause the video. It should be here. Okay, it's opened back up. I'm going to right click, go to edit. And now I have the MDT. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the MDT. Configure Active Directory, configure DNS, configure DHCP. You can run some PowerShell scripts if you want. What I'm going to do is use it to install a feature. So just again, guys, I had to reopen this console for the MDT to show up. So we're going to edit our task sequence, and I'm going to add a new group. I'm going to call this installing roles. And I'm going to select it and I'm going to keep moving it down. See how it's moving that group down to the bottom? Guys, the placement of this is very, very important. Because if you try to install a role before the operating system's installed, it's not going to work. So you might have to play around the location of the new group that you're adding. Guys, I don't want to do this. I'm just going to remove BitLocker. I'm not capturing anything, so I'm going to remove that group as well. So right now it's just going to reboot into Windows PE, partition the disk. If it's a Gen 2 machine, this will be the partitions. If it's a Gen 1, that will be the partition. Pre-provisioned BitLocker, I'm not going to do that. I don't need to do that. I'm going to hit delete for that. Install the operating system, apply the Windows settings, apply network settings. You know, if I wanted to, I could give that machine a static IP, apply any device drivers that I have, set up and configure Windows, the setup manager. So what we're going to do right now is click Add, MDT, install roles and features. And you just go down and choose the roles that you want to install. I chose DFS, so I'm going to scroll down. Maybe not. Oh, guys, I'm on Windows 10. That's why I don't see it. So I'm going to jump down to Windows 2016. Windows Server 2016. I'm going to choose File Server, DFS namespace, DFS replication. Guys, I don't know why anyone would have this select all. Never install all the roles on a server. If you do, you're just opening yourself up to some sort of security hack. If you install all the roles and you're not using it, it's just more things you need to patch. So I don't really understand why you would ever need the select all button. I just think it's absolutely stupid. Click OK. Click OK. So now it will install Windows Server and install those roles. I just gave you one example what you could do with this, but there's a lot of things you can do with the MDT. Play around with it, and that's it for this video. I still have one more video I want to upload. It's going to be about WSUS, and I'm going to probably do that by Tuesday. And that will be the last video that I'm going to make. You might have to copy some images over once I put that video up. I'll see how it goes. But I need to do the video in my office so I can do the updates and on Hyper-V. Once I'm done with that video, I'm going to take those images and try to integrate those into Ace IT Labs and see how that goes. Okay, that's it for this video. I will make another one next week. Thank you.